everyone, my name is Ruth and I am here today with Flat Aggie to tell you about the lambs that are in my barn. Flat Aggie was really happy to see them. Everyone should have a book like this. It's just black and white and it's kind of like a color book, but there's some story to it and there is a place for you to read. But I'm going to read it to you first. This says, sheep live in barns and graze in the fields. That means that they eat grass in the fields, don't they? Iowa has about 160,000 sheep and 4,000 producers. So that means there are 4,000 people like myself that raise the sheep. It says that this big barn keeps the animals in it, doesn't it? We have a big barn like this, only it's red. And this time of year, we keep our sheep in it because they're having babies and it's warm and dry in the barn. It says sheep share the farm with other animals. So when you get your book, you can draw a line from the animal to its shadow. Because in our barn we have cats. But most of the barn is for our sheep. Now, when you look at this picture, this is a picture of a female sheep. It's called a ewe. Now, when you read this, it says a girl sheep is a ewe, but it's not spelled Y-O-U. It's spelled E-W-E. So those two words sound alike, don't they? Ewe and ewe. But they're spelled different and they have a different meaning. Sheep eat grass, weeds, and grain. Now when you look at this mother, you can see that she has an ear tag in her ear. Why do you think we would have an ear tag? At my farm, we have 37 mothers that are going to have babies. And right now we have 26 baby lambs. Now if we add those two together, that's way more lambs and sheep that I can recognize. So we put an ear tag, doesn't hurt them, it's like an earring, and an ear tag tells me who that sheep is. So one of the things I use it for is when the mother has her babies. When she has her babies, I write down her ear tag number. It might be 20. And then in the next column, I write down what day she had her babies. So that might be the 10th of February. And in the next column, I write down how many babies she had. If she has one baby, it's called a single lamb. If she has two babies, that means that they are twins, just like people sometimes are twins. Now, if she has 3 babies at the very same time, what do you think that's called? It's called triplets, isn't it? Now, about 3 times in the last 10 years, I've had a mother sheep that has had 4 babies all at the same time. That means those babies are called quadruplets, or sometimes they say shorten it for say quads. So what was the name of the female that has the babies? Does anybody remember? Has a special way to spell it. It's called a ewe. Now this is a picture of the male. A boy sheep is called a ram. Sheep are raised to give us meat and wool. Now you can see this ram has horns. My sheep that I raise on my farm do not have horns. They have a black face, black legs, and their wool is white. So the male is called a ram, isn't it? Does anybody know what the babies are called? I bet you know. A young sheep is called a lamb. Most lambs are born in the springtime. Lambs stay with their mothers, called ewes, For about 4 months, they eat grass and weeds soon after they are born. Some of the lambs are white, some of them are black, and some of them have brown and black spots. So the babies are called lambs. Now this is a picture of a man. And this man is giving that sheep a haircut. Does it hurt when you get a haircut? I don't think so. So this man takes all the wool off of the sheep, and it doesn't hurt them, okay? Sheep give us wool. Wool is grown on the sheep. The sheep gets a haircut once a year. This is called shearing. Shearing does not hurt the sheep. The wool removed is called a fleece. Wool is something that can be grown again and again, and the word for that is called renewable. So every year we get wool from our sheep. When we renew, we help to save the earth. Now this man, after I get done talking on the video, there will be a little short video of the man that came in January to shear our sheep. He sets them on their bottom and he very carefully cuts the wool off. Now we don't shear them or take all their wool off in January just to make them cold, okay? They have their babies in February, and if they had all this wool on, they wouldn't be cold, would they? And so they would go outside and have their babies in a snowbank where it's very, very cold. So when we take the wool off, the mothers are chilly and they stay in the barn and they have their babies inside where it's not so cold. The next page is a picture of a dot to dot. And it says this can be made from wool and keeps you warm and dry. So you do the ABC dot to dot and you'll find something that is made from wool that keeps us warm. Now there are a lot of things that come from sheep's wool. One of the things, and I can't show you because I can't bring a lamb, but if we had a lamb like we have in the past, you can touch the lamb and you can see how soft the wool is, and you can also feel that in that wool there is lanolin, kind of an oil. And that oil is taken and it's put in soap and hand lotion and that sort of thing, and that lanolin is very good for us. If I have a cut on my finger and I work with the sheep and the wool, that lanolin, that oil, helps to make that cut heal faster. So here's a picture, a page of many of the things that come from the sheep, besides the wool, okay? Some people actually milk the sheep. They take that rich cream and they make ice cream with it. Here's the soap that is made with the lanolin and the crayons. Down here they may take the hide of the sheep and have a glove or a baseball. Here are the clothing that we get. It says sheep give us many other things that we use every day. Lanolin, wool, and leather are some of all come from the sheep. Manufacturers turn these new raw products into many things we use every day. The next page, we said we get wool from the sheep and we get meat, don't we? So here's a picture of some of the meats that we get from the sheep. Right here is a lamb burger. It's just like a hamburger, only it's made from lamb. Here's a steak. Here's a roast, a lamb roast. Here is a kebab, so they put it on a skewer and they grill it. And there is the ribs, or the chops also. Sheep give us meat called lamb. The lamb is the meat that comes from full-grown sheep less than 1 year old. Lamb tastes good and it is good for you to eat. It has many vitamins and minerals that help you grow up strong. Now, this page has a bunch of alphabet letters on it, A's and B's. On this page, I want you to take the A spaces and color them your favorite color. And then when you get that done, you go back and you color all the B spaces, all the ones that have a B in them, another color. So that when you get done, there's going to be a picture. And the last page of your booklet is just kind of a funny page. It says, sheep are cool. And I think they're cool, but I really enjoy my sheep. Now, when we were talking about their wool, I'm going to show you, this is a bag of what they call raw wool. Raw wool is just the wool that the shearer cuts off. It isn't cleaned, and it's been on her for a whole year, so she probably has some dirt in there. She probably has some hay, maybe little straw pieces in her wool. So it looks real dirty. So when they take this wool, they'll clean it. Remember that lanolin that's in there? They'll take that lanolin and they'll take all that dirt out of there. And when they get done, that wool is going to be bright and nicely white, isn't it? What they do is they twist the yarn like the, or the wool like this, and make it into yarn. Now, all the wool that comes from the sheep is white. How they get colored wool is they dye it, maybe red or pink or green or blue, whatever color you like. So the wool, when it gets cleaned, is always going to be white. Now, after you watch the man that shears our sheep, I'm going to have a video that you can see the baby lambs in our barn. Now, if you came out to my barn and walked in and started talking, every sheep would get scared and they would run from you because they are frightened. So that's why it's hard for anybody to come out and visit my sheep in the barn. It's easier for me to go out if they know my voice and they know I won't hurt them, so they aren't frightened. And in that video, you'll see the pens that we put together so that each mother, when she has her babies, she has her own little pen and she's able to take care of her babies and not have anybody disturb her. So when we go out into the barn, you'll see those small pens. After about a week, then we start mixing the lambs and the mothers together, and you'll get to see that too. And that's when the little lambs, kind of like when you guys go to recess, they run and they play. But when those mothers are in those little pens, they get to eat special food, don't they? This is corn. Do we grow corn in this area? Sure do. This corn is so that the mother gets the right nutrition so she can make the amount of milk that she needs to feed her babies. Okay, besides the corn, we feed them hay. Hay is just grass that has been mowed in the summertime, and then it dries for a couple days, and then we'll bale it and put it into bales, whether there's big bales or the small bales, and that's how we feed the mothers in those little pens. Now, when you see those mothers and the babies in the little pens, they don't just lay on the cement in the barn, do they? They have bedding. This is called straw. This is oat straw. Now, the oats that are out in the field during the summer that grows, the farmer harvests the tops of the oats, and that's what goes into our oatmeal and things like that. But that stalk of the plant is then cut and left to dry for a couple days, and they'll come in and they'll bale it just like they do hay, and those bales we'll put in the barn, and when we need to make little pens for the mothers, we have all this nice soft straw for them to lay on, and they stay dry and they stay warm that way. So, Flat Aggie and I are happy that you came with us today. I hope you enjoyed the video of the man shearing and then the video of the baby lambs. And we hope to see you next time. Thanks and have a good day.
We got so many different textures and angles and stuff.
Here are the mothers that haven't had babies yet. They have a nice big pen so that they can lay and relax and have their babies in them. Then we have a set of lambs that just were born. And the mama's trying to clean them up and take good care of them. They're really kind of wet, so she dries them by licking them. And we put them in a pen so that she's all by herself. And she knows then which babies are hers. So everybody in here has got their own pen. This mama has two babies. One's over in that corner and one is over there. Oh, here it is, right there. So she has two babies. And they get fed in these pens. See, they're eating hay. And we water them and give them corn so that they have enough energy to raise their little babies. And this mama here, she has two babies right there in the corner. Here's another pen with two little babies. And the mother's eating her hay. She has it in the corner. And then they take a little nap under the light. And this little baby is having a few treats. He's going to have some milk from his mother. See how he wiggles his tail when he eats? That means that they're getting milk and they're liking it. And then see, this whole area has little pens. You can see the mothers and all the babies in there. All of them in this area have two babies with them. This is the pet one that we named Rosie. And she has, on this side, she has the biggest twins. I don't know where those, oh, here's the little babies over here in the corner, sleeping. Then after these mothers are in the pens and they get their babies kind of started, then we start to mix them. And we'll put some mothers, like right here. There are 5 mothers in there, and right down here is where the little lambs like to sleep. And the mothers have their water and their food, and the babies can run around and play. We'll go around to the other side and you can see them better probably. I think there's like 8 or 9 lambs in that little area. Let's see if we can see them this way. There they are. They're all kind of playing together, but they still kind of stay with their sibling. But then they play and they run and they run and they jump a little. See, that one's jumping. He's feeling good, isn't he? He says, this is fun. And the mothers don't bother him because they're eating their hay. They have a big hay bunk right here that they eat out of. And the babies, they just love to play when they get in the big pen because they have a lot of room to be in.